Last month, I held Sarah's hand as she sobbed in my clinic. Her beloved labradoodle, Brucey, was fighting for his life after eating what she thought was a harmless treat, a sugar-free cookie containing xylitol. Hi, I'm Dr. Kathryn Dench, and after 2 decades as a veterinarian, I've seen too many heartbreaking cases where everyday treats turned deadly for our 4-legged family members. Today, I'm pulling back the curtain on the worst junk foods that could be harming your dog. Foods that many pet parents don't realise are dangerous. What you learn in the next few minutes could save your dog's life. And if you're thinking, but my dog's eaten these before and been fine, that's exactly why this video is so important. Let me show you what's really happening inside your dog's body when they eat these foods. Before I get into what junk foods for dogs you should avoid, you need to know why junk food is discouraged for dogs. Well, first, what do we mean by junk food? Junk foods are typically high in calories, but low in essential nutrients like vitamins, minerals, and fibre. They're often processed and contain large amounts of sugar, sodium, unhealthy fats, and artificial additives. Instead of supplying your dog with the building blocks to grow, repair, and maintain their bodies, these snacks put your pet at risk of obesity, digestive issues, pancreatitis, and more. Some even include toxic ingredients like xylitol and theobromine, which can kill your dog. Here's something you might not know. Dogs lack the enzymes to properly break down the ingredients found in some junk foods. Your pet's body makes enzymes like amylase, protease, and lipase to break down carbs, proteins, and fats, and this is fine for a balanced meal. But when you give them ultra-processed junk food, which has been changed at a chemical level by the processing, the body goes into overdrive trying to break down the ingredients. I've seen this happen too many times in my years as a vet. Dogs brought in with upset stomachs, chronic diarrhea, or worse, pancreatitis. Then I run a background check and I find out that the pet owner has been feeding their dog lots of junk food. Nearly 46% of owners admit to feeding their dogs with these foods. They think they're giving their pet a little treat and are completely unaware of the damage they are doing. Now let's get into it. These are the worst junk foods for dogs that you need to avoid. You've probably heard that potato chips and popcorn are bad for you. Well, they're not suitable for dogs either. But how and why? Let's look at some of these junk foods and the science behind why they're not good. We'll start with the junk foods that can cause immediate emergencies. As soon as I hear a patient has eaten them, I want to see them in the clinic immediately to start treatment before it's too late. Top of my list here is sugar-free sweet treats. While sugar-free treats might seem like a safer option, they can still be harmful. The idea that less sugar equals healthier doesn't apply here, because of toxic artificial sweeteners. Xylitol, commonly called birch sugar, is an artificial sweetener that can be toxic to dogs, causing liver failure and even death. The dog's pancreas confuses xylitol with real sugar and releases huge amounts of insulin. This can lead to low blood sugar and the dog being weak within 30 minutes of eating it. Other symptoms of xylitol poisoning include vomiting, seizures, diarrhea, and collapse. Even small amounts of xylitol can be fatal for your dog, so sugar-free candies and chewing gum are extremely dangerous. Next, we have chocolate. Dark chocolate may be great for humans, but it's a bad choice for dogs. Chocolate contains 2 components that are poisonous to your dog: theobromine and caffeine. Dogs break down these components slowly, which leads to a toxic buildup in their bodies, which can be fatal. The darker or more bitter the chocolate, the more toxic it is for your dog. You don't want to give your dog chocolate poisoning, so make sure you keep all forms of chocolate away from your dog. Emergency vet tip. Save this number in your phone right now. It's the Pet Poison Helpline. 855-764-7661. I've seen this simple step save countless lives. Now that you understand the foods that can cause immediate emergencies, let's talk about something equally dangerous but more subtle: the silent killers in your pantry that could be slowly harming your dog. My top one here is high sodium snacks. Sitting pretty here are pretzels, pizza, and popcorn. Imagine eating a whole bag of pretzels in one sitting. Sounds like an average Tuesday night, right? Well, for dogs, it's a recipe for disaster. Snacks high in sodium contain too much salt, which throws off your dog's electrolyte balance. A single ounce of pretzels contains about 322 milligrams of sodium. For comparison, a medium-sized dog should get 500 to 1,000 milligrams of sodium in a whole day. Letting your dog munch on pretzels or other salty snacks might push their sodium intake over the limit. Even if these snacks aren't toxic in small amounts, they're not safe for dogs to eat. Sodium and potassium are two key electrolytes that help keep fluids in check and control your pet's muscle and nerve function. When your pet consumes too much sodium, the kidneys work in overdrive trying to correct this imbalance. The high sodium levels can cause muscle pain, vomiting, and diarrhea. Not exactly the treat you want to give to your pet. The American Kennel Club warns that too much salt can harm your dog, leading to salt toxicosis, also known as hypernatremia. This happens when the body can't handle the amount of salt it's given. If not treated properly, salt toxicosis can lead to vomiting, dehydration, and diarrhea, which further messes up the electrolytes. It becomes a vicious cycle. Eating high-sodium snacks over a long period can also cause or worsen kidney issues, because the excess salt strains your pet's kidneys. It affects their ability to absorb water, increasing the blood volume and the blood pressure. Also, when your dog's kidneys become weak, it strains the heart to work harder to supply blood to the kidneys and increases the blood pressure. So the next time you're tempted to share that pizza slice with your dog, you may want to give it another thought. The next junk food you need to avoid is processed meat. Sausages, hot dogs, and bacon are not suitable for your dog's health. These meats contain preservatives like sodium nitrite and nitrates, which are known to increase cancer risks in humans and dogs. They also contain additives like monosodium glutamate, which can increase cancer risk too. Aside from that, processed meats often lack essential nutrients, which might lead to deficiencies that are harmful to growing animals. These meats are high in fat, leaving your dog at high risk for obesity and other health issues. They also commonly contain seasonings, like garlic and onion powders, which are toxic to dogs. The cons just go on and on. High salt content is also an issue here. I've had dogs brought in with digestive issues like vomiting and diarrhea because they've had too much salt over time, specifically from processed meat. So it's best to keep processed meats off their menu and yours. Quick check. Go and look in your pantry right now. Do you see any of these dangerous foods within your dog's reach? If so, let's move them. Finally, we get to the everyday foods that you might not think twice about sharing with your dog, but could be shortening their lifespan with every bite. The leader here is high sugar foods. This includes foods like cakes, cookies, bread, and chocolate. Who needs dog treats when you can have cake, right? No, seriously, you're not doing your dog any favours by sharing cake with them. Just like in humans, high sugar foods can make your dog overweight or contribute to diabetes. While dogs can eat some natural sugars in vegetables and fruits like apples and strawberries in moderation, high sugar foods are a no-no. One study in 2023 showed that placing dogs on a high fructose diet led to insulin resistance, which contributes to diabetes. Another study also showed that feeding dogs a high sugar diet can affect how they digest and absorb nutrients. These high sugar foods damaged their digestive system and reduced the gut's ability to maintain its intestinal barrier. This can lead to digestive issues like indigestion, vomiting, and a leaky gut. One more reason to avoid high sugar foods is dental problems. Just like humans, your dog is at risk of having dental problems or gum disease when they eat too many of these foods. This can be very uncomfortable, causing pain while chewing, excessive drooling, and bad breath. Next up is fried and fatty food. For example, fried chicken, French fries, potato chips, and so on. These deep-fried foods soak up oil like a sponge. When you give your pet fried foods, you're basically pouring several ounces of oil down their throats. Now, the FDA warns that fatty foods can cause a stomach upset in your dog, making them vomit and pass loose stools. In extreme cases, these foods can even cause an inflamed pancreas. Remember, your dog needs its pancreas to produce the enzymes it needs for digestion. And this condition, called pancreatitis, is often life-threatening. If that wasn't bad enough, some fatty foods like French fries and potato chips are a major source of a potential cancer-causing agent called acrylamide. Mice studies have shown that acrylamides increase the risk for certain cancers. The FDA also warns that high amounts of these compounds can cause cancers in animals. Finally, fried foods are high in calories, which lead to obesity and metabolic disorders. Pet Parent Challenge. Take a photo of your dog's treat drawer and share it in the comments. I'll help you identify any hidden dangers. If you've got any of these junk foods in your pantry, please make sure your pet cannot access them. It's a matter of life and death. When in doubt over whether to share a treat with your dog, I advise you to reach out to your vet for direct advice. Now, you may be left wondering, so what treats can I give my dog? So I'll share a few ideas of treats that can be substituted for the junk food. Have you considered giving your dog plain yogurt instead of ice cream? Plain unsweetened yogurt containing live cultures is healthy for your dog. It's high in calcium and protein and can act as a probiotic for gut health. Unsweetened yogurt is usually free of artificial sweeteners like xylitol, which make it safe for your dog. Plain yogurt is also rich in proteins that help build muscles and is a great source of calcium for strong bones. Remember that moderation is key and half a cup is plenty. If you like, you can also sprinkle in a few blackberries or blueberries. These make excellent snacks. Blackberries contain fibre and lots of vitamins, and they're also low in calories and sugar, so they won't cause weight gain. Blueberries again are rich in fibre, which helps with indigestion, and are a good source of vitamins, minerals and antioxidants. Again, moderation is important, and a small handful once a week is enough. Pet chews are also a great substitute for junk food, but I would be careful in how you choose them. Some brands focus more on marketing and using food dyes to make the chew look pretty, rather than its safety and nutritional value. Look for a chew that contains real ingredients and as few preservatives and additives as possible. Next time you want to give your dog a treat, try one of these options. If you're still thinking about sneaking in some junk food, I wouldn't recommend it. These options are safer because they improve gut health and are packed with antioxidants that boost your pet's immune system. Remember Sarah and Brucey, the labradoodle, from the beginning? After 3 days of intensive care, Brucey pulled through. But Sarah wished she'd known these dangers sooner. That's why I'm asking you to share this video with every dog parent you know. It could save a life. If you're looking for safe, healthy treats for your dogs, I recommend Paw Origin's Happy Forever CBD chews. They're not just treats, they're specially formulated to support your dog's health and well-being. Plus, they're made with 100% natural ingredients, so you never have to worry about hidden dangers. Before you go, take a minute to let me know which of these foods surprised you the most. I read every comment, and I love helping pet parents keep their furry family members safe and healthy. Now that you know what junk foods to avoid, you'll want to watch the next video in the top right corner. There, I reveal 10 essential tips every pet parent needs to know. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.